Hey team, welcome back to another episode of the Intentional Agribusiness Leader podcast. I am joined with my friend Sylvester Miller with FMC here today. This is going to be a fun conversation, you guys. Sylvester, welcome to the show, man.
Great to be on the show, Mark.
Yeah, welcome.
Took us a little while to get coordinated, but hey,
you know
spot on today.
If we got to make it happen here at Commodity Classic on the floor, whatever it takes to get it done.
Correct.
All right, man, talk to me a little bit about what does it mean for you to be intentional?
I mean, I guess I hate to be the person to say to be intentional is be intentional, which a lot of people would say, but I think when you think about being intentional about anything that you do is like taking a vested interest in the things that you want to accomplish and get done. I mean, when I think about both inside my career, inside agriculture, playing sports, my family, my faith, and all those type of things, just taking the time to get it done and making it a priority overall to be able to make those things happen is really when you talk about being intentional about it and doing it with care and passion also. I think that's also goes into when you intentionally do things.
Care, passion, and priority.
Yeah.
And that, I think, that's we talk about this often on the show, which is like, it takes time. Like you have to be intentional in order to be intentional, right? I mean, you actually have to like stop, take a beat, and think about, okay, what really is the priority? What is the order? One of the things we teach is the order of the kingdom, right? And what is the order of your kingdom? So go ahead.
I mean, granted, when I look at the order of the kingdom, I mean, everyone would say is, I guess for me, I'll probably say it's surely my family first, God. There, and then my family and friends, and then the career. Now, granted, depending on what's going on, some things may move, but surely what doesn't move is surely where my family sets out on that piece. And then always making sure I'm keeping my faith inside anything that I do. Even though may not be active inside my faith, so just going to church all the time. But growing up inside church, I mean, I feel like faith is something that you just have. What's the old saying? Faith is the things seen and not seen in the world, and those type of things. So kind of that piece there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, that's good. Sounds like you got those priorities in order.
Yes.
So, all right, well, talk to us a little bit about your background in the industry and what you do at FMC.
Yep, so correct. So I've been inside corporate agriculture now for 16 years. Can't believe it's that long. I tell people in 2008 when I graduated from University of Kentucky with my ag degree, if you told me 2024 what I'd be doing, I would have said, hey, that's a long ways out. But now when I look back, that 16 years went pretty quick overall. So currently at FMC, I'm actually the Central Corn Belt division manager. So I'm the regional business manager for our Central Corn Belt division that just got announced here at Commodity Classic yesterday.
Right.
So you want to wear that piece?
I didn't even know.
Yeah. So in that role, I'll be in charge of our Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Missouri sales team, and coming back to the corn and soybean belt of the U.S. and I guess we call it the corn and soybean belt capital of the world there, so very excited about that. But in my previous role, before then at FMC, I was a U.S. crop technology market manager, and inside that role, I oversaw our Thrive 3D application system, which is our ability to apply Xyway, ethos, and capture in furrow, but instead of a liquid, inside a foam. And then also oversaw our precision pack business, which is our ability to custom blend herbicides and insecticides, granular versions of them for tank size, weed species, insect pressure, and those type of things. So looking forward to, instead of being specialized in those and with the team, getting a chance to get back to the broad portfolio of all that plus herbicides, insecticides, and fungicides that we have as our portfolio, along with our biologicals that we're bringing forward. Yeah,
man. Sounds like a pretty big job. What kind of headcount does that give you from a team? So many people across that?
Yeah, so that goes from currently right now my team being 6 that kind of cover, we kind of section out the U.S. to now inside a concentration of that, it'd be a total of 10 that end up picking up that kind of run that area. Awesome. So headcount increasing, but also a little bit more concentration when we look at that piece.
Well, let's talk a little bit about team management, because that's obviously, being in the role, this is a leadership podcast. What role does intention play as you look at influencing those 10 individuals to help them excel?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I'm one of those ones. I mean, I came from playing sports my whole life, probably like a lot of people and everything, and getting a chance to play inside the SEC at University of Kentucky and afterwards. I mean, when I really look at the team and the way that you influence the team is really understanding what are the different things that excite that team, that teammate or the person on your team. You think you got some people that's come with just a blanket, like, hey, this is where I run my team, and not really be able to dial into that each individual person. So I think you have some things when I look at my team. Granted, this is what I look to bring to my team overall.
Yep.
And then looking at the way in which people respond to that, and then you start saying is, okay, well, for this person, I know I need to be, pulling this lever to get them to be more engaged or whatever.
Yep.
But then also, I feel like when you're a leader, and a lot of people talk about, are you leading from the front? Are you leading from the back? Are you leading from the middle? I think at different points in time, those three positions of leadership are surely needed. And I understand that when I need to be leading from the front, that's when we're hard charging, when it's something that needs to get done. And sadly, when you work inside sales and marketing, it always seems like you got to leave from the front when it's the administrative part. Sales reps love being in front of the customer, but a lot of them do not like the administrative part of their career and everything. But that's also what makes them great salespeople. And then that leading from the middle is when some things when it's like. Some are on board, some aren't. So it's like, hey, the ones that are kind of leading it, kind of let them get out front. You're in the middle with the ones behind that may be saying, hey, I just don't know if I'm on board with this. And I feel like that's a great time for them to be able to look at their peers and maybe be like, okay, well, just to use random names. If Jim is on board with it, then myself, maybe I need to get on board with it. Then leading from the back is when the team is fully pushing forward. Hey, let me go ahead and sit back. They know what we want to get done, and let them go ahead and drive to the finish line themselves.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So I know that it's nothing is as clean cut as like, hey, here's the first third, the middle third, and the back third, right?
Yeah.
So how do you allocate time, but still maintain some semblance of work-life balance and being able to kind of enjoy some of the other things in life as well?
Yeah, so I kind of joke around when people say I work the hardest, but I also play the hardest at the same time. One of the most unique things I always say, especially when we look at agriculture, and you being inside agriculture, I always tell people agriculture is not a job, it's not a career, it's a lifestyle. Farmers don't stop being farmers after 5 p.m. like some other careers that are out there. So work-life balance to me is getting a chance to really understand the fact of when I get a chance to kind of lay back and enjoy things, but also, working inside agriculture, I love what I do. So the thing is, even when I'm working, I'm having a great time. Out there, I'm enjoying. I get a chance to come to like commodity classes. This is work, but get to see my friend Mark or whatever. So as long as things.
Tons of friends. I've seen, tons of friends. 25 podcast guests I've counted that I've run into. Either ones coming up or ones that I've interviewed for the show. And this is one of the things I love about being in ag. When you think about my business being in training and coaching, we could go to any industry. There's no need to be in ag, but I love the community that's here. I walk around this thing. I see people that I knew early in my career, 20 years ago. I see people that I know that I'm just meeting. And now that we got the podcast out, I'm running into some of you guys that are like, you know me, but I don't know you. So
I want to be on your podcast. But work-life balance, is big. But it's something that I keep an eye on. Granted, probably when I was younger inside my career, not knowing anything, is like, hey, let me work. I get a chance to play later, but as I'm getting older, I'm really understand that work-life balance piece. And then usually it's always something that may happen inside your life that really makes you step back. So sadly, I'm 42 now, but I lost some key friends and family at a young age that didn't get a chance to make it to my age or whatever. And kind of when I look back that, maybe some things they might have missed out on or whatever. So making sure that now that I'm at a position where I guess not that I'm comfortable in my role, but I feel like I got the knowledge that's needed inside my role. I can really kind of not have to keep on being a hard driver the whole time, and now get a chance to really step back and enjoy some fun or whatever. But also, I love, Commodity Classic, Manners Conference, and a lot of different things that we go to where you, like you say, you get a chance to connect with your friends that are at other companies, other parts of the industry, the private sector, public sector, if they're inside education, extension, and I'll make sure when I'm there, we get a chance to have some fun.
Well, that's such a big part of it. It's we've always had this motto of work hard, play hard, work hard, play harder. So it's a good way to balance it out. What are some of those things that you're seeing from a leadership perspective that are working around talent retention and attraction? Everybody's competing for good people out here. So what's working for you and your squad these days?
I think we really look at being able to retain talent. Well, find great talent and retain talent. I think it's more about the fact of investing into your team and your employees. Really getting to understand what do they like personally, and how can you actually bring that personal likes into what they do career-wise, and playing to their strengths. I mean, I kind of look at the piece of the fact that if I have a team, first thing I do when I get a team, I always send out like a questionnaire, kind of just the easy questions. Hey, when's your birthday? Right. Are you married? When's your anniversary? What's your favorite adult beverage or non-adult beverage? Right. What's your favorite food? And some of those things, just so I can kind of put together like my what I call my team roster. Go ahead and put the dates in, the anniversaries, the birthdays, and make sure I'm communicating those to the group. Just so it seems like I'm taking a personal interest inside their life and everything. Then next is when you really talk about the ability to look at professional development and get a chance to sit down with the team, figure out where do they want to be career wise. Yeah. Some might say, hey, where I am right now is where I want to be the whole career. It doesn't mean that's not a person that you invest career development in. It might be some things that maybe they need to improve. They might be great at selling. They might be great at presenting, but maybe PowerPoints isn't their best. Maybe data isn't, or maybe teaching them how to set the room, make sure they got the line of sight, not blocking people when they're presenting, and kind of those different things that you pick up there. And then you also got the ones that say, hey, you know what? I like where I am, but I really want to go here. And my question is, how do I get them from here to here, and what can I do to be influence them and be able to drive her to be able to get them there? Now, the problem that you have a lot of time is, and I've seen before, is when you're a leader of a team and you got a great employee, you do want to develop them, but you don't want to develop them too much that actually lead the team or whatever. It's like one of those ones. But I guess I look at myself as my parents wanted to instill everything into me, so I could flourish myself and be self-sufficient. And that's the way which I look at for my employees, is that for those that want to grow inside their career, let's not hold them back. Let them grow, let them keep on going, because next thing you know, I just need to bring someone else in and develop them also. So being that type of leader there.
And I think you develop a reputation as a leader who cares about their people, who invests in their people. It's one of the reasons that this podcast called Intentional Leadership, and the Intentional Agribusiness Leader, is about that. So much of my focus in our new body of work and content is about intentional leadership. What we say is, all the times in life I've become the most resentful is always because of the times I was the least intentional. You know what I'm saying? And when we don't have that intention, also, there's a joke to one of your points about a CEO and a CFO. And the CEO wanted to make some investments in his team, and the CFO says, well, what if we invest all this money in our team and people quit? And the CEO says, well, what if we don't and they stay?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So you got to balance it. We're always walking a fine line. Chances are somebody's going to get picked off or want to go do something else, or somebody's going to make them a great offer, and that's obviously one of the things that we want to avoid. It's one of the things we try to work with our clients on. That's why professional development, put them through something that's actually really good, right? That's really intentional, and we've shown that we can actually improve that level of engagement, and we can improve retention, but it never happens in a vacuum, and it's nothing's perfect.
Correct. I mean, also I think when you look at agriculture overall, I mean, we're the world's largest economy with the least amount of people in it. Right. I mean, walk around this show, you see some people that I started my ag career with, they're at another company and those type of things, and we kind of branch out. But then now what you always also see a lot is towards the end of the career, you see a lot of people return for where they really originally started. So it's like, hey, when you first get that ag student coming out of college, you're training them, get them ready for their career inside sales, that territory. They develop, maybe they go get those other experiences from other companies, and they get a chance to bring it back. And I think that's where you see value is. I mean, getting a chance to be, I think that we're way past the days of our parents when you put 30, 40 years in at the same company. Right. Nowadays, everyone is a 4 to 5, 6, maybe 10-year max. Let's go somewhere else, get some great experience. But then you also see, like I said, the return back to the company. And when they do return, they do bring that different mindset and different skill set that maybe they weren't homing in on at the company, but also the different culture that's there. So I think that's some benefit when you're talking about developing people and giving them a chance to go other places. You can't you can't fear developing people that you're actually going to lose them. I think you need to develop people so that you can take advantage of the time that you do have them, and then hopefully at some point in time maybe they return back to you with even more knowledge than what you gave them when they originally left.
I think, the more you're willing to sort of let go, a lot more will come back to you, because you're not this possessive being that's trying to hold on to all the things all the time. There's a lot of energetic stuff, I think, that goes into that. I don't want people to miss. I want people to come back and listen to the part that you're talking about, of being intentional about just understanding what's important to your team, right? So if you're listening to this, watching this, and you've got a team of people that you're taking care of, do you know their birthdays? Do you know their kids' names? Do you know what kind of drinks do they like? What do they do for fun?
Are they a Pepsi guy? Are they a Coca-Cola guy?
Yeah, like do they hunt? What do they hunt with? Where do they where do they go? What's the biggest deer they ever shot? I mean, you have things like that that matter, because it shows that you really care.
Yes. Yeah, and like I said, I think when I look over my career, I mean, the amount of people that I've ran into, had conversation with, the person that you met that one time, at least able to at least pull like one personal nugget from that conversation you had is major. And I mean, sadly, just currently about less than a month ago, losing Undersecretary Bill Northey. But like I tell people, every time, the first time I met Secretary Bill Northey was back when he was in Iowa, Secretary back there. Had a conversation, but every time I ran into him, it was like felt familiar. Nice little like, hey, so I say, I remember last time we talked, you was talking about this, what's going on, kind of that check-in piece. And for someone that, I guess, and we say inside agriculture at this level, or even when you see Secretary Bill Sack or whatever at that level, maybe makes a comment back. I mean, that really makes you understand. Look at that person that's in that leadership role at that higher level. Make it seem like it matters to have that, but also lets you know is that they're at that level with that type of attention to detail, making people feel personal about the conversation they have. Me as a manager that's working at whatever company it is, I should probably be doing the same thing.
Yeah, man.
At a minimum.
It's such a great way to frame that up, and appreciate you bringing up Bill Northey too. I mean, it was a really, really sad loss for the whole industry. I think we all felt it. Anybody who's met him, over the years felt it. I actually. So I used to live in Spirit Lake, Iowa.
You're right there.
Yeah, and I used to go to the same coffee shop to work at that his dad would go to. So I knew Wayne Northey before I knew Bill Northey, and then Bill was there one day with his dad, and then so his dad made the connection, and I got to hang out with him, and that's where I first met him. And then there's some industry connection later on, but just what a great family. Both of those guys gone really close together at the within a few weeks of each other, and too bad, but tribute to give a lot of credit to the work he's done in the industry and helping people like you and me grow up in this space. So what are you studying, reading? What kind of stuff do you pay attention? What podcasts do you listen to? Talk to us.
I listen to a good podcast by Christina Jewell, which I found I'm off brand right now, so I know it's the Untamed Life. Now it's Breaking Chains. Breaking Chains. So I do listen to Breaking Chains.
And that's not a solicited testimony, by the way. I want to put that out there.
No, that's solicited.
That's my wife's podcast. But he told me yesterday when we talked about doing this interview, he's like, I got to get caught up. I said, it's got a new name now.
Correct, yeah. And last year, Commodity Collection got the chance to meet a great conversation. I was like, hey, let me add that to the list. I mean, what I'm reading, I'm not going to lie, I spent a lot of time inside the Crop Life magazines that's there. AgriPulse, I've been a subscriber to AgriPulse since I've been inside the industry. That is the inside the morning, get my quick down and dirty, what's going on inside agriculture. So as I'm talking to people, I walk inside that first customer. When I was a sales rep, I had something to be able to talk about. So I mean, for you all that's early inside your ag career, I would say, hey, get that AgriPulse link. I mean, hey, turn it on in the morning. It gives you everything you need to know when you walk into that first customer. That way you got something to talk about more than what your products are, or that piece. And then surely whatever that customer brings up, I'm not going to lie, I'll recycle it when I go to the next customer. So so that piece. So AgriPulse side, I listen to whatever's on the radio, trying to listen to more different podcasts. I always told people when I first came inside agriculture, you meet the older reps, and the older reps will always listen to books on tape, podcasts. I mean, well, I guess podcasts weren't around that time, but books on tape and those different type of things. And I was a young rep, like, no, I'm trying to listen to music the whole time. I would probably say about 35-ish or whatever. I stopped listening to the music, started listening more to podcasts, because now my brain is like firing on a different type of level, that I'm gaining information. I'm kind of thinking about things. I'm not gonna lie, when you're on a long drive, podcasts will keep you up more than listen to that music. I've learned that very quickly.
That's why we put 3 of these out a week, man.
So
we want people driving down the road in their earbuds and truck speakers, thinking about intentional leadership, and we think we can have a big impact on the industry over time. So.
And then surely, I love windshield time, because windshield time gives me a chance to catch up with my family and friends. I tell people all the time, even my mom has gotten to know, if she's talked to me for longer than 15 minutes, she's like, you must be driving somewhere, you must be out and about, because that's when she can really catch me on that front there. So yes.
Yeah, good stuff, man. What have you found as you get out there? You're meeting with customers, you're trying to help your team, get in with those customers. What works from just a relationship building standpoint? What do you train your team to do? What are you trying to keep in the front of that relationship building at the customer level?
I guess it's the old saying, keep the main thing the main thing. So when I'm looking at our reps and everything that we're doing out there, we're concentrating what is the most important thing at that point in time that we need to be either talking to our customers about, or they need to be taking action on. Then look at what's the next thing underneath that. So kind of your building blocks of that one. So great, we don't want to just come out and just start spilling everything that you need to talk about, because what we say, the average person after 10 minutes of conversation, what you just brought up, they're gone. So how do you hit them with the nuggets that they need to know, and then also with the follow-up. And follow-up is big, and really understand that follow-up timeline and piece. I'm one of those ones that email, phone call, or anything, I want to follow up in 24 hours. Once I get done with a meeting and a big one of those type of things, I want to set some bullet points, thank them for visiting with them, but kind of go back and re-highlight the key points that we talked about. Now the 24-hour response thing is again another thing related to sports. At University of Kentucky, our athletic director Mitch Barnhart came in and he kind of told us as athletes, like, hey, look, if you call, text, email, well, I guess back then we weren't really doing texting. I think we was doing a lot more emailing back then.
Back then you had to punch in the letter.
I had to punch it in. You
had to hit 5 like 3 times.
To get the good old T9. That was the T9 texting there. But when Coach Mitch Barnhart came in, he said, hey, look, if you call, email me, or anything like that, I'll make sure in 24 hours I'll let you know the answer, or at least let you know that I'm working on it, and kind of response time. I kind of took that and saying, again, as an athletic director of a SEC school, a University of Kentucky with hundreds of athletes, that you're willing to make that promise to us. That's cool. That I'm going to carry that forward too. And I'm not going to lie. Hey, Mitch, I put it to the test, and he's always held up to it, even now that I'm not a current athlete at University of Kentucky. Anytime I contact him, inside 24 hours, he's letting you know what's going on. And I kind of taken add that to my career.
Well, so that's one really good example. It's one of the questions I wanted to ask is, so being a high-level athlete, Division I athlete, how has that played into being on that football team? How has that played into your career? I think people would be interested in that. Every athlete would say, the joke is, as you're an athlete, you're learning the skills to help you inside your lifetime. All of us know at some point in time that you're going to have to, put away the cleats, put away the glove, or whatever sport you're playing it with, put away the field hockey stick, lacrosse or whatever, or cricket bat or whatever it's going to be. Even Tom Brady, even though we felt like he was going to play for the rest of his life, he finally had to hang it up or whatever. But I think the main things that we always talk about, and with being an athlete, is that you learn ability of teamwork. You learn how to deal with multiple personalities out there and still get the job done. And then also, I think you really understand that brotherhood, how to motivate each other, how to handle not only the wins, but it's really how you handle the losses. Right. That's a lot of the game.
Oh, a lot of the game is how do you handle, because the thing is always a game inside the game. So everybody always wants to say at the end of the game who won or lost, but it's individual battles that help you win the war at the end of the day. And I think that's when we look at career-wise. Every day that you wake up, I feel like that's that's a battle day. And the thing is, I want to win more battles than I lose. So at the end of the year, or whenever it's time to sit down for your end of year review, if you're reporting to somebody, or when you look at your team, or doing that self-reflection, was it a winning season for me? I want to make sure I have a winning season. I win the award at the end of the day.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic, and I think that's a good place to bring it in for landing. It's been a fun conversation, man. Thanks for doing it.
Likewise, appreciate it, Mark.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Hey, hopefully I'll see him inside Denver at Commodity Classic.
There you go. Come on over and get a podcast interview at the Denver Commodity Classic next year.
Yep, sounds good. Bye.